Hi, this is Mr. Petito from Wamstech University, and today I'm going to show you how to set up your mail app so that way it can appear and function how you wish for it to function. There are lots of just default settings that you can customize, and we're going to go through some of those today. To do so, I'm actually going to go into the Settings app, and here you'll see that from the left-hand menu I am in the Mail section, and then these are all of the different options on the right-hand side to adjust your mail app. And then periodically, as I change these options, I'll swipe over and you'll see the effect on the right hand side. Okay, the first things here is that you can allow mail to access Siri and Search. I recommend that. That way when you go to if you want to search, you can actually search your inbox as well. So if I were to type in the word John Doe, right, if I scroll down, you can see that in the Mail app there are some items related to John Doe. All right, so that's what Search does. And then Siri, same thing. I can ask Siri to search for mail from John Doe. It'll also allow me to use Siri within the Mail app as well. Notifications, you can set your mail notifications by default. You'll get the basic ding sound when a mail comes in, but you can change your sounds for alert tones and ringtones here. You can also adjust the badge app icon, whether it shows up or not, and you can show what your alerts look like. For example, you can have it show in history. If you get new email messages, you can show as a banner. Right, that's a persistent banner rather than a temporary banner. I recommend that you choose persistent. That way you'll never miss an email from a teacher. You'll have to see it at some point rather than it showing up and then vanishing and then you missing the email. You also have the ability to show your VIPs. So if you set up any VIPs within the Mail app, these are what the notifications would look like for those VIPs. So maybe you want to have a different sound for your VIPs than just a normal email. Maybe you want a persistent banner rather than a temporary banner for just your VIPs. That's an option for you. Getting into the message list, you see that I have the option to adjust how many lines I see in the preview. You can have anything from none to 5 lines, and the preview is basically seeing the body of the message from your inbox. So you see I have a recipient Google, the subject line is security alert, and then I see the first 2 lines of the body of the email message. Having more lines will allow you to know exactly what the email is before opening it up. However, it also will clog up your inbox and you'll be able to see less messages at once. So 2 is the default, but feel free to adjust that. If I show 1 line, for example, you'll see that now it's only 1 line. If I select 5 lines, you can basically read the entire email without ever opening it up. You can also show the to and CC labels here. So now you can see right from the message list whether or not you are the recipient in the to field or the CC field, which will also then dictate the urgency of you opening up that email. Remember that the to field is for those directly affected by the email, and the CC is those non-directly affected by the email, but you should still be informed. Your swipe options. Here you can set what the different swiping gestures do. By default, swiping left will let you flag the message, and swiping right will mark it as read. To see a preview of that, if I swipe left, I'll get my flagging menu. If I swipe all the way, it'll default to archive. However, if I do just part of the way, I'll then have an option to choose which one I want. And then swiping right, I can mark it as read. Right. If you swipe just halfway, you'll get the confirmation. If you swipe all the way, it'll automatically do it. But again, you can adjust that. So here, if I swipe left, I have the option of moving the message, doing nothing, or flagging the menu. And swiping right, same thing. So maybe instead of marking it as read, I want to be able to move the message. And what that will do then is when I go to swipe right, I now have the option to move message, and then it'll prompt me where to move that message. You can also adjust a flag style. So if you flag mail, by default it's just the color, but you can also choose shape instead to show that. If I flag this mail, you now see that it's got that little orange ring around it. If I were to change this to a flag icon instead, you now see that it has a little flag icon. Threading deals with conversations. So if you and a fellow student are emailing back and forth, you can see or you can have your thread organized in different fashions. And then you finally have a setting for composing your email. I recommend leaving all of these alone. Make sure your default account is still your Gmail. That way you'll automatically send messages from your Woodward email address here. However, the one thing you can change here is your signature. And by default, it just says sent from my iPad, but you can and should change it to the same thing as your Gmail signature. You can easily just copy and paste, or you can retype it here. So instead of sent from my iPad, I will say something along the lines of John Doe, class of 2020. Okay, and you do have some formatting available to you. So I can select John Doe, for example, and I can bold it. But all in all, you're limited to basic plain text. You can't add images or hyperlinks in your email signature. And that's it. Take some time to look through here and adjust your mail app to your liking. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at robert.petito@woodward.edu. Thanks for watching.